Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of this series, and I've been thinking about what we're gonna have to do next. What happened last time? We only got 10% celebrity endorsement. That's gonna be good. Right, I think we're gonna be focusing on things that actually grow the economy, because a lot of these, that's right, because a lot of these negative multipliers are gonna start going away. Other things we're going to have to do is actually organize our cabinet, which is these people here. So this one will probably be another long one. But the only thing we're going to have to do is actually see how it goes. Other things we're going to want to get up is education. Continue to whittle down socialist membership. As well, I think certain things we had introduced last time we're going to actually do that, such as, the labor laws. I'm pretty sure we did do the enterprise investment scheme. I don't actually know where that is. There's a small business grant, that will reduce socialism. No. It would be something that impacts the GDP. Small business enterprise investment scheme, there it is. Yeah, so that will also reduce socialist membership. Because the more we get capitalist membership up, the happier we can start making them, and then we'll start basically rigging the results. This one will probably be another long one as well, so let's get into it. Great, so our health is going down, that's interesting. Ban same-sex marriage. So if you don't know, this game was made before the same-sex marriage referendum that was in... when was this? I remember it happening, because I remember it passing. I believe this was about 2016, 2017. This happened in real life. This was introduced by the Liberal government at the time, led by Malcolm Turnbull. And, well, because this game was made before 2016, same-sex marriage is actually illegal. We're just going to go ahead and allow it. Banning it would make the conservatives happy and the religious happy. Conservatives because of traditionalism, and the religious because obviously it's against the Bible. Whereas allow their marriages will make liberals happy. I can see it making young people happy, but mainly the liberals. So we're just going to go ahead and allow it. There's no reason not to. This game does kind of have a draconian way of viewing liberals and conservatives. It views conservatives as being like basically a giant social nanny police state, whereas liberals as the more libertarian, and then really liberal. But that's not neither here or there. So we've got a lot of these things up. We're going to want to increase health. The GDP is ticking up, which will be good. Deficit actually went down slightly as well because we've ended a lot of these crises. The ghettos we're going to want to get rid of as well. Is there anything we can actually do to get rid of the ghettos? Street gangs, but that will probably just start ticking down on its own. The environment we're going to want to get up as well at some point. So who did we actually annoy? The same-sex marriage. I thought so. It's going to upset the conservatives. I would think it would also where religious. It's going to upset. Yeah, they're going to upset as well. If I'm right, it would make the liberals happy because obviously we're allowing personal liberty and fairness. Human rights. That's what I was thinking of. Stop and search. Did we allow that or did we not allow that? I don't remember really. Would the same-sex marriage make anyone unhappy? I don't think so. So right now, I think we're just going to get the hard part out of the way and we're just going to fire everyone and this will be the... So what a lot of people do, allegedly, this is one YouTube that a lot of people go for the highest political capital, which is our points and what we can spend it on. This is not what we're going to do. We don't want to focus on the amount they're going to give. We want to focus on their sympathies. Because we're going for a liberal capitalist playthrough, we're going to want people that ideally are a liberal and a capitalist, and in failing that, are either one or the other. So foreign policy. This is the hard bit. So we're going to want people that want the foreign policy job that are also either liberal or capitalist. For example, Max Schramm, he wants foreign policy. Problem is, though, he's a religious, and we're probably not going to make the religious very happy. Capitalists will love us, sure, but we're not going to make the religious very happy. Obviously, they don't have to be liberal capitalists. We might make some other people happy, like farmers and environmentalists, who I can actually see making pretty happy. And farmers will make happy because we'll, at some point, I think, start developing them. But we'll also make the environmentalists happy by doing some other stuff. Liberal parents probably won't really make. I can see making liberals thing. This we might hire this guy for the economy. He might be a bit better. So she's good. See, Bonnie Cox is pretty good. Problem is, though, not really the groups we're after. Motorist and liberal, not. Yeah, probably. I suppose we'd be. Oh, but he doesn't want the job. That's. So we don't want to hire someone like Thomas Campbell, for example, because he's socialist and trade unions. We're not going to have socialists, so he's going to be void, and we're going to be making the capitalists happy, so trade unions going to hate our guts, so he's going to quit if we pick him, more than likely. Trade unionist and patriot, not ideal. Probably. Seven Patriot, we're not really going to make them happy either. We don't really want to pick the groups we definitely don't want to pick up are the. We don't want to pick up socialists because they're the antithesis of capitalists. We don't want to pick conservatives because we're gonna. Well, I mean, we could pick conservatives, but ideally, no. We don't want to pick trade unionists either, so we kind of want the. Suppose patriots, but we don't want conservatives. Religious capitalists, though, he's going to be a problem. I might hire her. I know that kind of. Obviously, if they're, if they're very they actually want the they're actually along with our interest groups and also our high points. That would be good, but farmers and parents. So we're gonna so now it's on to welfare. Farmers and parents. Farmers, yes. Parents might be a bit neutral. See, someone like Madison Young, we're not going to want to hire because we're going to make the religious pretty unhappy and the conservatives won't really exist. So, that's not going to go well. Ideally, we need someone that's either a liberal or a capitalist that actually wants the welfare job. Problem is, though, I'm not really convinced that's going to be a lot. Chelsea Roberts would be good. Parents and Patriot wouldn't be that bad. Maybe the worst. Liberal capitalist. So we're going to actually want Caitlin Turner. Public services, foreign policy, and the economy. Religious capitalists? No, probably not. Let's see, welfare. Liberal. Might hold out on him just to see if there's anything better. Retired and motorists. I'm not sure about the motorists necessarily, but we will probably end up making the retired happy. So, parents page. He's probably going to be the best. We can kind of put that as a bit of a throw. The economy. Where was that guy that was capital? Where was that guy? He would be good because we're gonna make capsules gonna be through the roof. Religious probably not though, but tax. Liberal and ethnic minorities, yeah, he would be okay. Environmental and liberal, he would be alright. Actually, I might just go for it. I know I'm not really taking the time to figure this out that well, but if we need to fire people, it's not the end of it. Public services. We might as well just hire him. Law and order. This is probably not one I'm going to find many liberals on. So this might be one we just throw away. Or public services. Transport. I actually want to. Sorry, where was the other person actually? I know I'm like practically. Who's concerned is no, she's gonna quit. Farmers conservatives probably not. He might be alright. Transport. Conservative Patriot, no. Probably not him. By the way, if you guys have any suggestions of who we should actually put, please put them in. If you spot someone that might actually be better. Sure, we'll just give that thing. So now what are we going to want to do? We're going to want to focus on these other crises. Productivity. That's one we're going to want to increase. But health is really the main thing. Because for some reason that's going down. Why are you going down? It'll tick back up soon. It's probably because of other things. Car usage, as long as that goes down and traffic congestion goes down, we're not going to have too many problems. The doctor strike will probably fine. There's not really a whole lot I can do about that. Oh, what we should do is actually start using the making the farmers happy. So the way we're going to do that is the biofuel subsidies. This is a good way, in the game at least, to actually make a lot of people happy for relatively cheap as well. Oil demand. So what this is basically we mix things like ethanol and to make a type of petrol fuel, that chemical fuel that will actually power cars. So as it says here, biofuels can reduce oil demand by mixing ethanol derived from corn with petrol chemical fuel. So basically what we're doing is we're reducing our oil demand because we're not requiring things like oil from wherever for our cars. We're using more local solutions, local grown farmers and farming, which will be pretty good. So the environmentalists love it because we're not using fossil fuels. Farmers love it because they make a profit, a big profit from this because we're having to rely on our farmers more. Motorists love it because why would motorists love it? I suppose because they're not paying for petrol and oil, so they're not having in theory it's cheaper. Farmer membership goes up because it's more profitable to become a farmer, and farmer income goes up, which is going to be good. Because how do the farmers feel currently? They're pretty neutral on me. And that will probably have to be the end of that turn. Oh, our education's going down. That's shit. Freedom of information. Basic. There have been calls to increase the availability of information held on databases about citizens without their knowledge. These include records held by private medical companies, insurance companies, and debt collection agencies, as well as information held by government departments. So we reject it on the basis of national security. We allow it because citizens should have the rights to look at these things. So we've hit that button twice, so we've probably got only, it's 12, 9, 6, 3. Yeah, okay, so we've really got only one more turn of this. This might not actually be as long as I thought it was going to be. We're probably not going to get rid of the alcohol abuse, really. Ghettos we'll be able to get rid of. Education, though, we need to bring up. But that will probably go up with the increased funding. So everyone seems to not like. Why are people not liking me? Yeah, so socialist membership will start ticking down as more and more of our policies start getting implemented. So yeah, actually getting motorists is actually not a bad idea. It's mainly the religious that hate me, but they're a very small part of our population anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's mainly just that we're suffering because capitalists don't like. It's mainly that capitalists don't like us as much as socialists, and because we're reducing socialist membership, they're not liking us as much as what they others should be. Technology colleges. This is probably something we could do actually to help rebalance that. Might as well max this out for relatively cheap. So education goes up, how technology goes up, which will be good in the future. State employees like it because, because they work for the state, they're going to get access to the best technology, so therefore the membership goes up. Socialists and equality don't go down, which I'm surprised that does go down. Because I would think that because we're having state-run schools that specialize in technology, the socialists would like it because we're funding public education, and equality would go up because more people have access to it. I don't know. It's just how the game views it. The expenditure and debt, the GDP, is something we're going to want to fix as well. So we're going to child benefit. This is probably not something I'm going to want to touch for now, because capitalists don't like it. But on the other hand, a lot of the other interest groups, some other interest groups, do actually like this. So yeah, I don't know. There's probably some other policies we could look at. Clean fuel subsidy. Yeah, that could be good. Law and order. Public services. School vouchers actually would be pretty. School vouchers would actually be a pretty good one, as well as the youth club subsidies. Hybrid cars initiative. That would be pretty good. The economy. Organic farming subsidy, maternity leave, that would be probably pretty good. Technology grants as well, so we can become kind of like technocratic. I think what we might do is actually do the school vouchers, which currently is only 50-50 popular, but what we'll actually do is, what a school voucher is basically, so instead of paying school fees for something like public school, private school, high school, primary school, whatever, anything to do with schooling. Instead of having a school fee, what the government does is instead of making it free as well, I mean, this does sort of make it free in an indirect way, but you're still paying the school fee just in a different way. What the government does is it gives you a voucher, so you choose which school you want to go to. So, for example, I don't know what the actual school fees are, but say school fees are I don't know. Like, you spend like $500 to send your kid to school, for whatever reason. What the government will actually do is, instead of you pay that 500 out of pocket, is the government will give you a voucher for with that $500. So the parent can choose which school, whether it's a public or private school. Uh, Basically, it's kind of, which is different to tax credits because obviously this private and public schools run differently. So I personally love the idea of school vouchers. I think it actually gives people the most choice for, at best, lower school costs, but obviously either the same or if not lower school costs. Uh, so obviously, either you're either going to benefit because you're not paying as much, or it's going to be the same if you're paying anyway. Yes, but you're not having to pay different school fees for different schools. The voucher provides the school fee. The voucher provides you to be able to do any send your kids to any school regardless of if it's a public or private one. I personally love it because, like I said, it gives people the most choice, and it actually means schools actually have to compete with one another to actually earn the voucher. Therefore, schools are actually forced to be better with the competition because they're competing with not only other public schools but also every private school as well. So schools are basically forced to do better. I think a voucher system would probably work in today's Australia. It would help. I think it would actually help students pick which school they wanted to. It also would make a lot of schools be a lot better as well. For example, the high school I went to, there was a big bullying problem. I think with a school voucher system, it wouldn't fix it, but it would force schools to actually do something about bullying a lot more, in order to get more people to go. So private schools goes up because obviously people are probably choosing to go private schools more than likely. The poor earnings go up because obviously the poor aren't spending as much. Equality goes up for the sake of poor earnings. Social membership goes down as well because, well, why would you want to be a socialist? What's the point of being a socialist when you're getting everything through the free market? So now we're going to want to start making the liberals and capitalists happy massively. Start reducing socialist membership. So we've probably got one more turn for this episode. I would like to get ghettos down soon. I would like to get health and education going back up as well, which I think we'll now start seeing for the state schools and the school vouchers, which I think we should be here. Yeah. So private schooling will go up, which the effects is school vouchers will probably go up. Yes. Education will probably start ticking up if I'm reading that right. Unemployment will go up. The trade unionists hate it because obviously people aren't encouraged to be. So where's state schools? That's private healthcare. That's state healthcare. It would have to be state schools. Here it is. State schools might actually start going down cost-wise because less people are actually inclined to actually go to a public school. Other things we could do is I can't do the clean fuel subsidy. Free school meals, that could be something we do. I'm not personally in favor of government free school meals. I think every school should decide whether they want to actually have free school meals, but I suppose then again, we've kind of negated that with the school voucher. So in the real world, how this would probably more work is that because we've got the school voucher, the free school meals are a part of the voucher as well. So therefore, it's negated government cost. So yeah, we might as well just do this. The poor love it because they're spending less. Health goes up. Socialists like it because we're caring. Parents like it. So yeah, overall, this is not a bad thing. And yeah, so we might as well go to the next turn. Oil pipeline attacked. That's going to suck. That's basically telling us our Military isn't good enough to fight. Great, so we have about 2 years to be able to win the election. So that sucks. Patriot's gonna take a hit because obviously our pipeline was attacked. So yeah. But overall, I would think this is gonna actually start going up because the Liberals are gonna start liking us, and the capitalists are gonna start liking us a lot more. So yeah, we might as well. Homelessness going down. Why is homelessness going down? I suppose unemployment's going down. No, not that. That's not what we want. Where is unemployment? Unemployment. Because I suppose this hasn't really gone down. That's something I'm definitely going to go down though. It reminds environmentalists. This is a voter block I'm definitely going to want to actually increase. So I might just, increase that. I think recycling should always encourage us recycling. I don't see why we shouldn't. Healthcare vouchers. The clean fuel subsidy. This is something I'm going to want to do. Okay, I was thinking it was going to make capitalists unlikely, but no, I was wrong. Okay. The environment goes up because obviously we're using government subsidies to encourage better environmentally friendly vehicles. Environmentalists love it as well. Motorists like it because they're not having to spend less on these new vehicles as we move away from fossil fuel vehicles. And motorists' income goes up as well because they're spending less, presumably. And also on petrol as well. GDP going down still sucks though, but I suppose we're not quite getting the full benefits yet of some of these other things. But yeah, ghettos is definitely going down. Can we do something else? Hybrid cars initiative, that would be pretty good to do as well. I wouldn't be surprised if capitalists hate it. No, they don't hate it actually. Oil demand goes down because we're encouraging hybrids. Environmentalists love it because it helps motorists like it because they're having to spend less on the new environmental cars. Car usage does go up, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but car usage goes up. Environmentalist income goes down because they're not having to spend as much. The environment improves. Environmentalist membership goes up, and the high earnings benefit because it's been redistributed. So this will probably be our last term. Credit rating downgrade. This is probably what's going to happen for a little bit because we're spending too much. Oh no, actually that was meant to be our last turn. Okay, well we might as well use this as our last turn. So we're going to want to either stop spending as much or increase taxes. Capital gains, that's one I really hate in real life. And I think there are some things we could probably do. So what we could... Ooh. That deficit isn't very good. So we kind of need something that actually will make us money. No, tax allowance is something I do like. Here's something that would actually directly affect things. So, the alcohol tax. I'm personally someone that doesn't like alcohol. I know that's kind of probably a bit weird to hear from someone from Australia. I don't like alcohol. I think it's not something we should encourage people to do. Obviously, it's not the worst thing people do. I don't think it should be encouraged. I definitely don't like alcohol. I don't see the point of doing it. I've never drank myself. I know it's it's a very big industry in Australia, but I personally just don't like it. I don't like the idea of people drinking. I don't like the idea of people voluntarily giving up their control over themselves when they get drunk, because obviously when they get drunk, they don't, they slowly stop having control of themselves. And I think alcohol tends to lead to a lot of things, ends up doing things that people come to regret after they drink. So we're just going to increase the tax on that. Tow roads. We have tow roads? I didn't realize we had tow roads. Commuters love it. Does that just go up? Why do commuters love it? I mean, this is saying that caps. I think this is wrong, actually. I think someone's made a mistake here. So, yeah. Socialist membership's going to go down. I mean, we have the effect of capitalists going up at the same time. Yeah, so those two things are going to slowly whittle away. No, I'm not going to do tariffs. That's stupid. Technology grants. That might actually be something we do. So what happens is unemployment goes down because... why would unemployment go down? I suppose because we're encouraging people to invest in new technologies, which means more people have to be employed, I guess. Technology obviously goes up because we're investing in new, better technologies. Productivity, GDP grows because we're innovating a new business. Productivity goes up. And, capitalists like it, which is surprising. Religious membership goes down. Which brings us to our next thing. This game seems to calculate that you're either religious or you love technology. You're not both. Which in the real world is not really true. That's not how it works. But obviously this game, I didn't create this game, so... Yeah, that's one for the game. The game doesn't do that. Obviously, this kind of ties back into something that we haven't really touched yet, and we're probably not really going to touch is, where is it? Creationism versus evolutionism. This is probably the source of where this comes from, where you're either, if you're religious, you obviously want, creationism. And if you're someone that isn't religious or this game deems it liberal, you're going to want evolution to be taught only. My opinion on this personally is I think we should teach both systems on the basis of how scientific it is. And what we can say improve scientifically. For example, I think science, in my personal opinion, I think science can pretty much confirm evolution theory as pretty much true. I mean, obviously not completely true, but most of it to be true from what we've observed in the wild and what we've got recorded throughout history and what we're constantly recording. But I don't think there's necessarily enough scientifically to prove that creationism can't be true either. That either isn't true or isn't true at the same time, because my personal opinion is I don't see why creationism and evolutionism, I don't see why both can't necessarily be true. I think that there can be a creator that also created evolution theory. But the general gist of this argument is it's creation, it's Darwin versus religion. Now I think about it, pollution will start going down as well because we're not using as many cars. At least I think so. Yeah, because the environment will uptick because we're encouraging people to have cleaner cars, so the environment will uptick. Meaning pollution will go down, and the asthma epidemic will go down. So yeah, I think that's going to be the end of this video. Hope you're having a good one, and goodbye.